And this is what happened to a lot of people in the California fires. They expected it to be protected, their stuff, and it wasn't. What we hate to hear is consumers buy these things and then all of a sudden they have a disaster and everything's lost.
You end up with this.
Look at the crack here in that drywall. That's 2 pieces of drywall. How are you going to stop that heat from going through there?
So your advice to consumers is look for that UL logo.
Look for that UL label.
And if you don't see it?
Then buy something that has it.
Buy something else.
Yeah.
What is this right here? What are we standing in front of? For people at home who don't get a chance to see this.
We are going to do a what's called a UL Class 72 fire test. We will heat this file up to 1700 degrees. It has to maintain 350 degrees or less interior temperature. This is a UL rated product. This is a non-UL rated product. So we're going to do a comparison and see how this performs against a UL rated product.
So that's an oven.
That is an oven. Right now we will follow the UL curve, which will be at 30 minutes, we'll be at 1550 degrees, and at 60 minutes we'll be at 1700 degrees.
How does that temperature compare to a typical house fire?
A typical fire burns at about 1200 degrees.
So we haven't even gotten to the temperature of a house fire, and that's already failed.
It's failed. It failed miserably. We were going to do a 1-hour UL test, and we ended up doing a half hour, and because that's what this cabinet was rated for, a half hour at 1200 degrees. So it failed about 4.5 minutes into the test, which is really disappointing.
4.5 minutes.
4.5 minutes.
For a 30-minute save. How common do you think that is?
I think it's very common because, as you can see, they're using drywall. It just can't insulate the product like they claim it will.
So what you're saying is the heat just comes right through that crack.
You just can't have any leaks, for lack of a better term, where heat can come through. At 4.5 minutes into the test, we were well over 450 degrees and everything burst into flames inside. Nothing's going to survive that.
Nothing.
Nothing. Now, the product that was sitting right next to it was a UL rated product. It stayed under 220 degrees. UL will not put that label on something if it's not going to work. This is our standard FireKing file. It has a UL, what they call UL Class 72, 1-hour fire rating. Now, we burned this for half an hour today. So we went to 1550 degrees. We hit about, 220 degree interior temperature, and that just leveled out. We are in the FireKing factory in New Albany, Indiana, and this is where we build all of these products are all American made. We feel very strongly about the UL ratings. It's expensive to build to the UL standard, but it is also the consumer's assurance that that product will do what it says it'll do. Fire resistant, fireproof, I don't know if people really know the difference between that, but after watching your story, we have decided that we will go to fire resistant and not say fireproof. At the end of the day, if the consumer is being misled, then you need to do it, make it right.